Every year, the coastal tourist town of Knysna hosts a unique motorsport event, the Knysna Hillclimb. Now in its third year, the hill climb attracts a variety of cars from past and present, as well as amateurs, gentlemen racers and professional racing drivers. Because it's a lot more fun to participate than to watch from the sidelines, RPM TV entered a standard Renault Megane RS Cup to tackle the hill.
Last year we decided to compete in the Knysna Hillclimb for the first time with a Renault Megane RS. In fact, the very same car you see here. And of course, as you know by now, the conditions were absolutely horrendous, rain pouring all the time, and it didn't really give us a good indication of what this car is actually capable of. So it seemed like a good idea to come back in as really much better conditions and see whether we could be competitive against some of the mainstream guys competing. What's made it even more interesting this year is that Renault invited some ex-racing drivers to come along and show what they can do with cars identical to this one. And we've been looking at the times. It's been closer than I thought. I think the racing drivers are a little bit perturbed. I'm pretty happy.
Even more spice was provided by the presence of ex-world motocross champion Jean-Michel Bayle, who entered a similar Megane RS Cup at the invitation of Renault South Africa. Jean-Michel and I shared a pit, and at first the times were very close, although it has to be said that the Frenchman was always a few tenths quicker. The battle lines were drawn. Meanwhile, the Brat Pack racers were also showing their class, and Brat Pack Challenge winner Dion Joubert actually broke into the 49-second zone, proving that he still has what it takes.
So how fast is a Renault Megane RS Cup really on this hill climb? Well, we think low 50s is what we're looking at the moment. We're in the 51s. Been playing with tyre pressure because, as you know, this is a standard car. There's not that much you can do to get the car to go faster. And looking at what the other guys with similar cars are doing, that's the bracket. Low 51s, maybe high 50s. Of course, temperature will play a role. One of the problems here is the hill climb is very short, so you don't get that much temperature into the tyres. We ran with low tyre pressures yesterday. The car felt a bit loose. We're going to try and go up with the tyre pressures. Either car is going to be looser and scare me even more, or maybe we'll just break into that 50-second barrier.
Increasing the tyre pressure seemed to do the trick, at least as far as road fuel and stability was concerned. The Megane felt more positive under turn-in and cornering speeds were higher, but the times didn't necessarily reflect this. I was still stuck in the low 51-second bracket. Bayle was now in the 50s. Importantly, he was getting off the line better than me. The French driver was certainly showing his mettle, making use of every inch of the road and keeping the Megane perfectly planted on the line.
The pressure's now on because we are in qualifying mode. Obviously, this is a particularly popular class, and only the top 4 will go forward into the final, which means that we really have to try and do our best to at least set a top 4 time. Jean-Michel Bayle and myself have been quite close, 0.1, 0.2 of a second. At this stage, we'd like to get into the 50s. I'm not sure what his time was now in the last run. I've upped my tyre pressures, and the car seems to feel better.
But it wasn't enough. Bayle set the 4th fastest class time to go through to the final, relegating us to spectator status. You can watch a full half-hour report on the Renault Knysna Hillclimb this week on Supersport. Check the Supersport website for details.